Hi everybody, this is a tutorial on how to do 3.06 discussion board assignment, asking questions. So this is actually going to be kind of a interactive, really cool assignment that I am going to have you guys looking at or working on. There are some very specific instructions for this, so it's very important that you follow the instructions, and there are some timetables you're going to need to stick by for this. So you want to make sure that you are looking at that. Okay. So basically what you're doing is there are four scenarios here. You are picking one of the four scenarios and you're going to just write 3 to 5 questions, interview questions for that scenario. So from this unit, we've been looking at what makes good interview questions. So obviously you don't want to ask yeah, no questions. You want to ask questions that are going to prompt a response or kind of a longer thinking response, things like that. So I'm going to give you an example of how this will flow, and I'm just going to use one, for example, as an example to show you. All right, so there's the four scenarios here. So let's say I want to pick scenario B. So I'm going to interview the first place winner of the National Spelling Bee. She's extremely shy and soft-spoken. As the first place winner, she wins $20,000 scholarship. She's the first person in her family who will go to college. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with 3 to 5 questions, interview questions for this young lady, since I'm interviewing her, right? So basically this assignment is you coming up with interview questions. So that's the first part of it. So that part of the assignment is going to be worth 10 points. You just coming up with 3 to 5 questions. So when I come up with my 3 to 5 questions, I have all these scenarios down here in this prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on scenario B, and I am going to reply to the thread with my 3 to 5 questions. That's part one of the assignment. That's all you have to do, okay? Really important for you to know is that if you are doing part B, scenario B, you cannot reply in anywhere other than scenario B. Do not stick them in A, don't stick them in C, don't stick it in D. These are only for scenario B, okay? So if I choose to do scenario A, I'm going to reply in scenario A. And then same with scenario C, same with scenario D, right? So once I do that, you are going to think of those 5 questions, right? You're going to post them to the discussion board. This section of this assignment is due by the due date, by February 28th, okay? So this is one of those assignments that you need to turn this in on or before the due date. It can't be late because there's a second part of this assignment that's very, very important. So after everyone has posted in either scenario A, B, C, or D, there's going to be a big long reply, right? So let's say we have 10 students who replied to scenario B, and everyone did 50 or 5 questions. So 10 times 5 is 50. So there's a total of 50 questions in that scenario. That it's going to be down here in scenario B that I'm going to need to focus on because that's the one I chose. Same thing can go for A, C, and D, but I did B, so I'm going to look at B. So let's say it's me and there's 9 other students in there that have replied. So the 9 other students in that scenario and I are going to have to come up with the 10 best questions out of all of our questions. So if there's 10 of us, we've done 5. That means there's 50 questions in there. We need to pick 10 of those 50 questions, and we are going to list them down here in scenario B. So the kicker to this is, and if we're going to look at the directions, as a group, you will decide together which 10 questions are the best ones to use. As a group, you're going to place them in a strategic order and write 10 follow-up questions for those questions that you anticipate will elicit answers that may require further probing. So basically, you are writing those 10 questions out. That's all you're doing, and you're putting them in an order that would be like the best to interview someone. So you don't want to like start with the ending question first. You start with the beginning question. But if there's some really nice ending questions, you're going to want those down at like number 9 or 10, right? So there's two ways you can work together as a group. One, all you do is you just are going to keep posting in whatever scenario you're in. So you're going to reply back and forth to each other. You're going to be like, oh, I really like this question, or oh, your question number 4, I think should be one of our questions, or oh, I like 4, 5. Those are the really good questions I think we should add. So you're going to be communicating back and forth in the discussion board, okay, only in your scenario. You also are going to have one day in Class Connect where I will put you in breakout rooms. I will have a scenario A room, a B room, a C room, and a D room where you will be able to sit for the full 40 minutes and discuss the order of your questions. You will have whiteboard privileges and you will be able to type them out and you will be able to do whatever you need in that room. That is going to be right before they are due, okay? So you're going to kind of have that option of going in and making and having that discussion. So I will let you know that date, obviously, through an email, or I will update you on when we're going to have that Class Connect. So you have that option, right? So you have the two options to do that. What's really important is for this section, only one person per scenario needs to type the final list of questions for the entire group. So one person needs to be your like scribe or your secretary or whoever and type those questions out and post them. What happens then is once that one person posts your 10 questions, every single person in your group will earn that additional 10 points, okay? So I do not need 10 of you posting the same 10 questions. I need one person. So you need to decide who's going to be your scribe and who's going to step up and type those questions out for your group, okay? So that's going to be amongst yourselves. You guys are deciding that, okay? As the group, you're going to decide who that person is going to be. This section of the assignment is due by the close date, okay? So I'm not going to actually put a due date technically on the second part of this assignment. It's only on the first part. The discussion board only has the due date for those 3 to 5 questions you're typing out, okay? So this section of the assignment is also worth 10 points. So just as a reminder, sorry, didn't mean to do that. So just as a reminder, you do not need to answer all 4 scenarios. You're only picking one. Scenarios are separated into A, B, C, D below. Reply only to the thread that you're choosing. And any thread outside of the designated area will immediately be deleted and you will not receive your credit, will not receive credit for it. So for example, if you choose scenario B and you post it in A, you will not automatically not receive, you can redo it, but I'm going to delete it right away because it's going to confuse all of the people that are in A, that have typed in A, okay? So your scenarios have to be within the correct area that you choose, okay? So if you have questions, please let me know. We will cover this in a live session, but just wanted to give you some clarification on how this is going to run, and just make sure to cover some of the specifics that I know you will have questions about later. All right, if you have questions, like I said, please let me know.